Praise be to Jesus. Hi everyone, it's Charles here. You know, it's 9 o'clock Friday night and I'm tired. I just came across an article and I just read it and it's very disturbing and I want to get it out to you right away. So I'm going to start reading this whole article to you, and I'm not going to put a prayer on the end of it because that just makes the construction of the video that much longer, and this is really going to take, maybe an hour total until I get it all uploaded. So here, let me just start reading to you this. This is really, all right. A member of the drafting committee for the final document of the 2018 Synod of Bishops says that language on synodality and discernment in a draft distributed to bishops earlier this week came from neither synod discussions nor the committee, guessing it was inserted by officials appointed by Pope Francis to run the event. Yeah, okay, They're very heavily stressed discernment and synodality, which really were not very much prominent in the discussions, said Cardinal Oswald Gracias of Mumbai, India, a member of both the drafting committee for the final synod document and the Pope's C9 Council of Cardinal Advisors. It wasn't very prominent in the minds of the Synod Fathers, but it comes out very strongly, Gracias told Crux, which is, the people who are writing this article. The 73-year-old Indian prelate spoke to Crux at the Vatican's Santa Marta residence, where he's staying during the Synod and where Francis makes his home. Some media attention has focused on concerns among church conservatives that while the phrase LGBT does not figure in the draft of the final document, language about sexual orientation is present that doesn't result from input from participants in the Synod Hall. It's not part of the input, okay? But they put it in there anyway. I'm going to be making comments left and right here. I'll try not to, though. Gracias, however, spoke of synodality and discernment, both of which are considered catchphrases of Francis's pontificate. In general, synodality is used to refer to a more decentralized, participatory mode of church governance, often expressed in groupings of bishops and other participants at the local, regional, national, and continental levels. The insertion of those concepts into a draft of the final document may feed perceptions among conservative critics of the Pope that the process is rigged. Oh, really? No surprise there. Asked who was responsible for inserting such language, Gracias speculated it was the officials charged by Francis with overseeing synod operations, beginning with Italian Cardinal Lorenzo Baldessari. Oh, no surprise there. Maybe, we don't know that for sure. Maybe it was Baldessari himself, he said. Maybe the two special secretaries who are the Jesuit and the Salesian. So they put it in. The reference is to Father Giacomo Costa, an Italian Jesuit, and Father Rossano Sala, an Italian Salesian, who were appointed as special secretary for the Synod by Francis in November 2017. Gracias said he presumes that Baldessari and his aides were trying to capture the mind of the Pope. even if it wasn't a major theme of the summit itself. Yeah, see? It's like it doesn't matter what the what's going on in the synod. The whole idea is just to get into the final document what the Pope wants there. Geez, this is something else. Wait until you hear the rest of this. The Holy Father has been speaking about synodality, about walking together. The church be walking together. That's what he's been saying since the last synod, he said. Gracia said that when the bishops inside the synod received the draft, umbrage was voiced over the new language. I don't know what that word means, but there was some resistance when it was publicized because this document has so much on synodality when we really haven't discussed it, which is true, he said. Sources told Crux that some of the concerns came from bishops from countries where the Anglican communion is prominent, worrying that it could be seen as the Catholic Church moving towards a quasi-majority vote system for settling disputes similar to Anglicans. Gracias explained that the Synod office received the proposed changes from participants on Wednesday and spent Thursday working on revisions to the draft. That document, he said, will be presented to the drafting committee Friday morning. We'll study it. They will work on it again in the afternoon and then present it to us on Saturday, he said. The Synod is scheduled to vote on the document paragraph by paragraph on Saturday evening. In a change to Synod procedures, this time the bishops have been asked to produce not just a set of recommendations, but an integral document, which, if approved by the Pope, would become part of the Church's ordinary magisterium, meaning its routine teaching authority. You see? So before synods used to make recommendations to the Pope. Now they're being asked to come up with a complete document. This is how Francis is, has changed things. Now wait till you hear some more of this. This is absolutely amazing what's going on there. All right, so that's really like a big deal. These 300 bishops are going to, change the ordinary magisterium of the church and give this, of course, like the popes are not going to, he might change something, it's like, hey, you left this out. I want to put this in there too. He could do whatever he wants with it. And then it's just going to have, teaching authority of the church. It's like to hell with what used to be official Catholic teaching. I'm the Pope and I'm telling you right here, this is official Catholic teaching and you're to obey it. Boy, it's hard not to want to wring his neck. I'm telling you, I got steam coming out of my ears. Let me continue. Gracia said he's not entirely convinced that's a good idea. I am not in favor of putting that responsibility on the Synod Fathers, he said. I would think that it's not fair to the Synod Fathers, to the Church, to say that this is now magisterium, he said. I think the Pope wanted to give importance to the Synod, but there certainly are things there that could be theologically misunderstood and could be controversial. You can't say this is magisterium. You must accept this, Gracia said. I don't think it's reasonable to expect that, he said. How could 300 bishops coming from all over the world, many of whom are not theologians possibly, accomplish that? Yeah, right, exactly. Asked to cite an example of something that could prove problematic, he offered a line in the draft document. Now listen to this. He offered a line in the draft document. to the effect that Jesus couldn't work the biblical miracle of the multiplication of loaves and fishes until people brought him those elements. The phrasing, he said, could be read to limit God's ability to perform miracles. Yeah, I think so. That could be a theological problem, he said. Yeah, I'm sure no one means that. But if you're really... No one means it. Yeah, right. But if you're really giving magisterium, it's a problem. Gracias also said that many bishops who don't speak Italian have been at a significant disadvantage since key documents have been circulating only in Italian. Isn't that amazing? So there are bishops there who don't even know what's in certain key documents. And one must assume that there's nobody there to interpret them for them. I mean, why aren't there interpreters here? It's just amazing. I mean, this line, what I just read, wouldn't be there if there were interpreters there. But there can't be any interpreters. One of the disadvantages is that many do not know sufficient Italian, so I don't know how they'll respond in the House. Whether they'll abstain, go with the group, I don't know, he said. Excuse me. Can you imagine that? So there are like some amount of bishops who don't even know what's going on. They're going to abstain, or they'll go, I'll just go with the group, even though I don't even understand what we're voting on. Now, whose fault is that? Who put this thing together where there aren't interpreters there? It's absolutely amazing. Divide and conquer, create confusion. Absolutely amazing. And he'll get away with this crap. If we don't understand it, how can we vote on it? He asked. Some have said, we don't have sufficient Italian to be able to make a judgment. We're saying yes to something we don't know, and that's not right. At the end of the day, however, Gracia says he doesn't expect much drama in the final vote. That's a done deal. I expect the document to go through with ease, he said. I think it will sail through. Well, of course, by the time it gets to the actual voting, they don't want like all this kind of stuff going on during the voting. That'll get out into the media and they'll say, there's a lot of disagreement here about these paragraphs and whatever. Just make it sail right through. And it's like, hey, we're all working together. Everything's good. Listen to this. This is the end of the article here. In terms of the charge that the Synod has been rigged, Auxiliary Bishop Robert Barrett of Los Angeles offered a note of caution during an October 4th event sponsored by the University of Notre Dame Center for Ethics and Culture with the assistance of the Diocese of Orange in California and Crux. All right, now, this is what he said about these synods. Every meeting is rigged to a certain extent, Barron said. You don't call something like this in the first place if you don't have some sense of what you want to get out of it. Yeah, what the Pope wants to get out of it is ordinary magisterium. In other words, teaching authority given to this document. This is like so rigged. Boy, I'm telling you, you know what's going to hit the fan here after they pass this. Man, I'm telling you, everybody's got to get up in arms about this. Well, I got to stop talking here, and I'm sorry that I interrupted so much. It's like, this is really, really very upsetting. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.